PGA Tour 2K21 joins PS Plus. So a lot of new people are coming in. Thank you for all the subscriptions. Appreciate it. Which means there's probably going to be a ton of people who don't know what the Tgc Tours is. So I'm here to tell you. The Tgc Tours is a cross-platform, competitive, third-party service for PGA Tour 2K21. So whether you play on Xbox, PlayStation, or PC, you can get a tournament-level competitive scene across all three platforms, all brought into one community. If you're interested in something like that, I suggest that you go to tgctours.com to get some more information. You'll sign up there as well. There's also a Discord, which I'll link down in the description below if you want to join the Discord and just see what it's all about. And yeah, I suggest it's just something that you check out because it's a lot of fun. There's different flights for different skill levels, so you know, you won't feel too out of your depths just jumping into the game like many of you are with PS Plus. Well, that brings us to what's at hand this week. Starting this week, I guess I could say, is the Challenge Circuit course guides are coming back. So if you play on the Challenge Circuit, you're going to be playing this week at Point Lobos Golf Club. It's actually a really nice course. I've played 4 rounds here so far. There's a lot of scoring opportunities. The whole setting is very nice. The course is kind of rewarding in a sense from tee to green, but it has some challenging spots to it as well. I've had a lot of fun with it. I think it's a great course. I think you all will enjoy it. So for today's video, if you haven't watched Challenge Circuit course guides that I've done in the past before, pretty much what I'll do is I will play through the course. I'll give you some things to watch out for, some things that maybe you should go for if you're interested in being a little risky, maybe some spots to avoid where you should put the ball, or where I think that you should put the ball to give you the best chances this week for your tournament. Unfortunately, with time permitting, I am not able to do these on Sunday or Monday, so I do not know the official round 1 conditions, but we do have this thing, which is the TGC Tours weather report, and I'll also put another link down in the description below if you've never seen this before. It's a great, I would say, a great piece of information for you. It gives you some information like what tees you're going to be playing for, what the wind speed, direction, time of day, weather, green speed, greens, fairways. These aren't in order by round. These are just listed alphabetically. So you don't know what round 1, 2, 3, or 4 conditions are going to be, but it gives you an idea of what they're going to be. So I know that the wind direction is going to be a lot of north, so I'm going to play north for round 1, and I'm going to be playing medium wind. I'll just do the high wind just so you have an idea of what that looks like. Everything else I'll be playing at defaults. Speed, greens, and fairways will be playing at defaults. I believe it's firm, fast. I'll make sure before we start. But yeah, this is a great piece of information to give you this week's and next week's course conditions and tees that you're going to be playing for. Now with the tees, they are in order, round 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you do know that ahead of time. So, Point Lobos. Let's jump out and start this course guide on firm, fast. Those are the defaults. Here we go. So I'll be doing a little bit more like talking through like shots and where I'm putting it and why I'm doing that. Just so you know, like as we go. Starting with the first hole, I mean, this one, you can kind of just see it just by looking at it. This thing slopes out all heavy left, and you can go down here into the rough and into the bunker, and you do, if you hit it bad enough, have a pretty bad shot, especially if you put it down here, coming up and out over the tree. So, there's a couple of things that you can do with this. You can play it back, which is the first option that I give, just because if you look, you don't have that far to go. $145. You know, if you put it, stripe it right down the middle, you have a $145 to go. I like to go for them though, as always. So what I suggest is you just fade, draw, depending on your handedness, into this slope so that it mitigates the bounce a little bit. That way you can keep it in the fairway. Even with the red fast, this should still be fine. that fade just hits it more into the hill to mitigate a bigger bounce coming out. And now we have ourselves a nice little pitch shot in, which we are going to try to stick. A little bit of a downslope here, so we can actually hit into this with this this pitch if we want to. I think I'll try. I'm a little bit further away than I would like to be. We're going to try to use the slope, though. 6 mile an hour wind. We should still be able to get this up. Now we definitely will. Well, that's not the way we want to start. I want to hit that like right on that slope down so we can get a nice little jump up towards the hole and then slide it back. I mean, another thing I could have done is just played it long and just put a lot of spin on it and try to get it to run back. But I want to be under this hole because I want to be putting up. I don't want to be putting all the way down if you look at the slope. So that's kind of why I did that, but just hit a bad shot. Didn't quite work out. Got a little greedy, but I mean, had to. I had to go for that. Yeah, as you can see, no matter where you hit it, it's kind of a tough putt. That's why I wanted to finish below the hole, because there's almost zero break below the hole coming up. You just have to deal with the slope. So, tried to get it below the hole. Didn't quite work out, but I suggest you try in your round. Just to give yourself the best chance at a birdie. Here, I mean, I grip and rip just because even if I go into the bunker or into the rough or anything, it doesn't matter. We don't have that far to go, and we have a lot of green to work with. So I just grip and rip this one every time. Like I said, if we hit a bad shot, it slopes pretty nicely for us coming into this fairway, which when I said that it was kind of rewarding tee to green, that's what I meant. Yeah, see all this, look at all this green we have to work with. So even if you go into the rough, it don't matter. Again, I do want to try to stomp this before the hole. Not too much, but... that was too much. I'm surprised I didn't get up that much. I wanted it over to the right a little bit, just so I can just hit up this hill nicely. I don't want to be pin high, because pin high just leads to more break. I just fasted it, and I'm kind of surprised that it didn't get up. I de-lofted it a little bit, but such is life. So we got 5 to work with. 8, 3, 6, 8. Let's see if we can get a birdie here. That is butter. There we go. Nice little snake putt. Was my favorite. To give you just some idea of where I'm at, it used to mean a lot more, you know, when I was playing at a plat elite level. But I'm okay at this game. So just to give you an idea of where I'm at, I've been shooting. My worst round here was a 9 under. My best round here was a 14 under in 4 rounds. So the scores are out there, and the big reason is because a lot of the par 5s are gettable, which we're gonna start with here. Again, this is a grip it and rip it scenario. If you get it too far left, it will just straighten out. You'll end up rough. So I suggest you just try to aim for like this section right here. You'll get a big bounce to the right, but it kind of evens out as you get further down. So you should be able to stay fairway. But just grip and rip and kind of hope that you get it up there. Because if you get it too far left, this should still be okay. We're not that left yet. See how it comes down here really nicely, but if you get it too far left, it will straighten out and you'll usually end up light or heavy rough. So try to avoid that. All right, we are coming into our first par 5 and see what we're using. A 6-iron. I'm gonna take off a little bit though, because if you look here, look at all of this slope down. I want to use every inch of this slope down. I'm going to be aiming to land the ball somewhere in this distance level because it's going to hit, take a big bounce, and then it starts to funnel back into the hole. So I'm just somewhere in this level is where I want to land and take advantage of this sloping that we have. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to be taking a 7-iron in. We're into the wind, but it's downhill 23 feet, so this should still be okay for distance. As long as I don't gray fast it. Sometimes it's good to get lucky. That just goes to show you how much sloping there is in towards the hole. Oh, this putt's not gonna be fun though. Not ideal. We gray fasted it and we got punished for it, which, you know, happens. Let's try to see if we can make this insanely long eagle putt. At the end of the day, I just want to get it close. Within 5 is what we look for these putts. Actually, I'm bringing that back a touch. Well then. Well then. All right. Hey, I ain't complaining. That's for sure. Let's move on. Another very generous fairway. Grip and rip. Grip and rip. Try to keep it right. Do not get too far left, because if you get too far left, you got the bend to work with, and we don't want to have to worry about the bend. So just try, if you fast a lot, maybe aim a little bit right. Try not to hit it too far left, like into the, because this is what you'd have to deal with. If you're in the bunker or the rough over there, that is what you'd be staring at, and it's just not a great situation for you. So try to keep it as far right as possible. We're just gonna go at the hole here. If we end up left, that's actually okay. Left is probably the best place to be. Like, if you want to give yourself the best opportunity for hitting birdie, aim left. Get it over here. You have a downslope to work with, but there's not a lot of break. For me, though, I'm going to go at the hole and see if maybe we can get it uber close. Or we're going to gray slow it. Man, my swing's been so good for the past couple of days, and every time I get on to record, it just goes sideways. All right, we got a little bit to work with here, but we've already made a big putt. Wow, we actually got it into a very favorable location for down here. I haven't seen down here have this little break. That's great. Not enough juice. Needed a little bit more. Not a terrible line. I think we still probably would have missed it right if I did hit it a little harder, but not bad. We're 3 under here. Going into our next par 4. Okay. So this hole, with the wind at our back, I would actually suggest to go for this. So as long as you can miss this tree, even if you hit the leaves, that's fine. I'm talking about like hitting it solid. If you hit it solid, I mean, of course it's not going to be that great, but if you hit it literally anywhere, and I mean anywhere in like this region, it usually tends to find itself at least in a decent lie or back on the fairway. Now, you can lay up, but if you lay up, it's just getting it out a little bit because you don't want to be behind those trees. So I would try to aim it somewhere mid and go for it from there. I would still draw it in or fade it, depending on your hand. But I would still draw it in just so you can kind of like work your way back towards the hole to avoid, you know, hitting it maybe too far and getting behind that tree, or fasting it and like getting behind these still. But for what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go for this with the wind. It's kind of favorable. I'm still going to kind of draw it towards the hole, but as long as I don't hit the tree, I'll be all right. Not ideal, but it worked. Yeah, it worked. I've gone for it every time and ended up in the fairway every time, so You'd be okay to do it. But if you want to play it safe, you can, because it's not really a long shot coming in, so. And you have a backdrop to work with here in round 1. We're going at it again. Well, we're going to try at least. There we go. That'll work. See if we can get another birdie. Break! Oh, I hit it too hard. I thought I was actually getting through some of that break, but I hit it too hard. Oh, that's unfortunate. All right, next par 5. Okay, it'll start you over here, and you can't. When you look at the green, it looks like, oh, I should play this left, because if I play this left, I have more green to work with. But if you go to the handy dandy little book, you'll see that if you play this left, you got a long shot coming in. Whereas if you do this, it actually shortens it up a ton. So 295, 269, or 295 over 300. So I say go for this shot here. You have a much better chance of getting it to the green, and you can always fade it in. So just plunk it on over here. The fairway is very favorable to you, whether you hit it, unless you get it too far, of course, but whether you hit it with a little bit of fast or a little bit of slow, the fairway is very favorable over here. So, like, we got it red fast, doesn't matter. It's just gonna plunk itself down here and roll back in towards the center. Perfect. And we can bring in the 3-wood. We'll have a really bad shot. I wish I wouldn't have fasted it. So we're gonna drive it. Well, we're gonna try to drive it, I should say. Red fasted it. We might get lucky though. So for this shot, I wanted to fade it, and if I go long, that's actually ideal. Short is not good on this green, just because you have that to work with if you're short. So if anything, you either want to be long, back here, for your eagle, or you want to be short and off the green. So this kind of worked out for us. Oh my god, I was about to say, especially if we get that eagle anyways. We get a birdie instead. That's alright. I would have much rather got an eagle though, but we red fasted our drive, so that kind of hurts your chances. Alright. We have a par 3, and we have a par 3 that's super long. So for this one, what I've been doing for round 1 is I've still been going 3-wood. I've been just lofting it into wind. Or if the wind's at my back, I've actually been de-lofting it and driving it like into the hill to get it to roll. But we have the wind kind of in our favor, so I'm just gonna heavy loft it into that wind, and I'm gonna take a little bit off using a fade. So let's see what happens. If we go long, that's actually not bad. We just don't want to be super short. That's great. That is phenomenal. That wind cut it down just enough. We can get it right in there snug for our birdie op. Which we drain. Perfect. Okay, here we go. 5 under. Got a little back-to-back par 3 action here, so. All right. So I have actually pitched this in, and it is kind of an option if you want to do that. I mean, I always suggest going full swing over anything. But I have seen people do their 7, 6, and 5 iron pitches. And I've seen some do it with success. Especially if you want to make a run at this hole. Because what I'm going to be doing is kind of like chopping this thing up high into the air and just getting it to stop dead. We got the wind in our favor, so we're just going to aim for this to be long. But I want this thing to just stop on a dot, preferably over to the left. Because I want this putt up the hill instead of having it go long and down the hill or right and after dealing with a downhill putt. I always want to be putting uphill other than downhill. That is my motto. So we're going to stick to that. See if we can get this thing into the wind and get it to stop here on the left side of the green. When you gray fast, where the ball goes is anybody's guess. Pin high and to the left. Not terrible, but could have done better. A lot better. Let's see if maybe we can drain this, though. That would be really cool. Nah, just didn't get enough. I thought that was going to roll a little bit more. We'll take our par and get on to the next one. Yeah, you want to try to end that like a little short of the hole and to the left. That way you have an uphill putt coming in. There's still going to be a bit of break, but it's the best option to get your birdie opportunity. All right, all of this is OB. If you see the white sticks, she's OB. So you have to be wary of that. If you fast a lot, just get it over here. Don't try to be a hero and go over. You can even play it back if you want to, because playing it back, you still, look at this, you have a ton of green to work with, and you're going to be using like a 4 iron coming in, 3 iron coming in, depending on what you use for clubs. I grip and rip. I always draw it into this just because I want to work with the fairway as much as I can. But don't be afraid to lay this one up, because it's all out of bounds. And yes, I have hit the out of bounds. If we take this into the rough, I don't really care too much for this hole. If we take this into the rough on our drive, just because, again, we have a bit of green to work with here. So, and we actually got a really good lie out of this too. We're just trying to get it in the calm spots. So anywhere in here, this is where we're looking to land it. You can go at it, which I'm gonna kind of do, but we just want to get it into the calm zones of the green. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And we walk away with another birdie. Here we are. 6 under on the front. Pretty solid front 9. Front 9 that I will take any day of the week. All right, we're on to the back. Again, all out of bounds. All of it. So you have to be conscious of that. This is one that I do not want to go into the rough because we're on a par 5. But, as you can see on the fairway, very favorable. Either side you go to, very favorable. So, we're gripping and ripping. Although, my grip and rip was a red slow, but it'll still be safe. The fairway is just favorable for us. It's really unfortunate, though, because I would like to go for these, which you can go for this quite easily, too. This, however, not out of bounds. So, if you follow the sticks, you'll see that. There's one here, and then the next one is up over here. So, if we wanted to go for this, we could. And if I would have hit it better, you can actually just bring a straight 3-wood in if you're using a bigger 3-wood. I'm not going to go for this. I don't, even though this is not out of bounds, I definitely don't want to end up here. The driver, I don't think will get there into the wind. No, I don't think it gets there into the wind. So, we're going to lay up, which sucks. But has to be done, which is fine. If you hit a better drive than me, though, you could definitely get there with a 3-wood easily. Very, very, very easily. And you have a green to work with too, which, you know, is ideal. As long as you don't hit it long, you know, you want to put it short in this little thing here. This little pocket. Going long, you can recover, but you'll want to recover long and then putt back to the hole. All right. Let's get our birdie. And let's move on to hole number 11. Like I said, very scoreable. The course is quite scoreable. It's a lot of fun, though. It does give you a challenge. Notice the white posts again. All out of bounds. You have to be wary of the out of bounds here. And it's another prime example of just, if you're scared, lay it up, dude. Because you can put it out here, and you're going to have a wedge coming in. There's no point in getting fancy, you know, like I'm about to do. There's 0 point in this. I'm just doing it just so I can get into a pitching range. But if I hit a bad shot, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. So if you're playing in tournament rounds, I might not go for this. Just because there's that chance that I hit a fast and put it into the OB, which is just an absolute ruiner for a round. Probably a tournament. All right, we are going to try to stick this. I'm going to pitch it. I'm going to use the slope to my advantage, a touch. It's going to catapult. There's nothing I can do about that. I just want to get this as close as possible because this green actually has some pretty gnarly bite to it for the sloping. So I just want to get this as close as I possibly can. That works. If you want a spot to miss, it's over there to the right. You can kind of see it where it kind of calms a little bit. No matter where you put it, though, it's gonna be a pretty tough putt. Just don't get it too far left. Whatever you do, do not get it too far left, because it's gonna be a putt that you're gonna have a tough time sinking or getting to stop. Okay, this is kind of just like a go at the slope. You know, we wanted to land it somewhere in here and let it just run back. It's a pretty straightforward hole. We are just going for the pin. Just going for it. Want to land and roll back towards the hole. That'll work just fine. That'll work just fine. Yes, indeed. All right, another birdie on the board. Here we are, 9 under. We're on a little bit of a tear here. Let's keep that going. You know what to do. I mean, you don't have to, but you know what to do. Rip. And rip. This whole entire fairway works in your favor. It works in your favor so you don't go long. It works in your favor so you don't, even if you slow it, like you're fine. Just grip and rip. Again, I want this to actually get up and stop dead in its tracks. A little short. Oh. Oh boy. I mean, it worked out. Just start over here. I wanted to finish it over to the right here because it's a calm putt up the hill. Ah, man, I thought if maybe I brought that back a little bit too far in distance. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Well, the streak ends, of course, as soon as I talk about it. On to another par 5 here. So, wind at your back, you can actually make this. I did full loft, full spin, but you can actually make it over these trees and back into the fairway if the wind's at your back. Since the wind is pretty much dead set on a northern-ish position, you might not have that. So, next best thing is we're gonna fade it kind of around this corner here. Fortunately, my drives, for whatever reason, are not the greatest. So we didn't fade it around the corner. But we still have a shot coming in, so ideal. We have to get it around this devil hill, though. So I'm going to try to heavy fade this in. A slow might be bad. Yep. Oh, God. She's going for a ride. Dang. I just had to get around that hill. Dang. All right. Not ideal. At least we get a chip, though. That I read slow short. Man, that's okay. I'm doing that, and I have a short putt for a birdie. You know, that was a birdie on every par 5 though, and 1 eagle, which is what we're looking for on this difficulty. All right, we got a backstop to work with. You can do one or two things. You can go straight at the pin, or you can get fancy and play it off the back hill and watch it roll all the way back. I am just gonna go straight at the pin. And try to get her close. That is all we want. I hit it a touch short. Thought the wind was going to carry it a little bit more than it did. Can we still drain it? Front side? Front side. Of course it was front side. Oh, no white posts? No out of bounds. Do you want to be down here though? Nope. So, just get this thing to the right. Oops, I almost messed up. I still want to go with the fairway. So we are going to draw this in. You might reach rough. It is a possibility. There we go. That should be good. We're just getting it right. We got rough, but that's okay. We'll get flyer out of here. Yeah, 94, 99. We got an 8 iron coming in. Tons of green to work with too. Yeah, we'll be all right. We got the wind to work with. We're just going to try to hit this center green and watch it funnel back in. Just like that. Perfect. Another birdie op. Oh, it's straight. I haven't had a straight one here, so I don't know if there's going to be any ghost break or not. It looks like it's kind of breaking slightly to the right, but all the beads say left around me. I'm gonna hit this thing straight and see what happens. There might be a little ghost break, and if there is, you know what to expect if you get into a situation like this. Dead straight. Perfect. All right, I have not had a straight putt on 16 yet, so that's an interesting position that the ball was in there. I mean, ideal. Oh, yes. Okay. One of my favorites. So I love this hole with a passion. You can do a couple of things here. I like to just push this thing over to the left side and look at how it all funnels back towards the green. The problem that you run into doing this is you might actually hit it up here. Like it might roll all the way down, and then you get put in this little like ravine here, and you have to hit up this hill, which isn't ideal. You can also work this slope if you'd like to, where you bounce it somewhere around here off and watch it kind of skip up. In that scenario, you need it to kind of hit firm on this hill here, because if it doesn't, it just rolls past, which again is perfectly fine. If it does roll past, like, we're not too worried about that. Or you can just play it back too and just take a nice little wedge or pitch in. But I'm gonna go for it. I always do. Well, not always, most of the time. So we're gonna go for this. We're gonna see if we can funnel this nicely over toward the cup. We great fasted it, but this still should be okay. Oh! It got off. Dang it. It got off the fairway, or off the green. Dang. That's okay. We still have a chip at least. We're working with the hill, so I'm gonna just add a little spin on it just in case. I usually fast these. Boom. Boom. Another eagle. 13 under. That hole's actually really good and fun. I love that hole. You know what to do here. Grip and rip. Just stay away from bunkers. This is one of those few holes where you don't want to be in bunker. Left side bunker's really bad. Right side bunker's terrible. They're both terrible. So try to avoid the bunkers at all cost. We're just gonna grip and rip down the middle. It's a fairly longer shot in, but still not that bad. Oh yeah, we slammed that thing. 169 in. That's actually pretty good. Sorry, yeah, 169 in. Okay. I want to be below the hole and to the right. So that's what we're going to shoot for. Below the hole and to the right. Got a little too high, but this still shouldn't be that bad of a putt. Just because we're so close. Below the hole and to the right gives you the least amount of break for your putt. So it gives you the best chance. But I mean, going at the hole and getting close gives you the greatest chance. So there we go. There we go. 14 under. We'll take it. But that's Point Lobos. Like I said, there is a ton of scoring potential on this course. And with the wind not getting up into the high range, I think there's going to be some low scores. But the course is a lot of fun. It has its own challenges, and the challenges come if you miss the fairway by too much on some of the holes. Because like on 18, if you go into the bunker or into the rough, you have like a 3-iron coming in over that little perched bunker at the front. So it's like bad scenarios all around. You just have to essentially shoot for par. And there's a couple of other holes like that too. You can get yourself into some situations that are just going to lead to inflated scores. Kind of like going, maybe fasting it into that OB area. So try to avoid those. I mean, like every week, you want to avoid the blow-up holes. But that's Point Lobos. That's what you're going to be playing on the challenge circuit this week. And hopefully you enjoyed the challenge circuit guide as well. We'll be back next week. I'm going to start doing these every Monday. So we'll be back next week for next week's course for you all. But thank you so much for stopping by today. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for giving me your time today watching this video. I hope you have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I will catch you on the next one.